So, hi everyone, I hope everyone is doing really well. First of all, tell me that the audio and video is clear to you guys or not. Is the audio fine? Because most of the time that complaint comes, sir, audio is not there or it is less. So first tell me if the audio is fine or not. That is what I want to know. Okay, so I think audio is perfectly clear. Audio is perfectly clear. So welcome to 20th December. So we have reached 20th December, that is Friday today. Tomorrow, definitely there will be Saturday. That is how a week goes. Okay, good morning, good morning, Anonymous, good morning, Parikshit. So, after the completion of security course, we meet again, and I hope we keep meeting like this again and again, until unless you go to your respective academies and you send more students and who joins us. Okay, so with this wonderful thought and with this wonderful evening, let's move, not evening, morning, let's move towards the news. And before that, we have thought for the day. Thought for the day is the struggle you are in today is developing the strength you need for tomorrow. Don't give up. Okay, so struggle you are in today is developing the strength. So what happens is that we are continuously going through struggle, right? It's not, sometimes the struggle might be coming later, sometimes the struggle comes in the early part of the life. It depends when it comes. But whenever struggle comes, we don't like it. Some people like it. Some people say that, this is happening with only me only, why only me? It is not about you or me. Everyone goes through the struggle, okay? Only difference is that one person will overcome the struggle and one person will give under the struggle, that he will give up. You don't need to give up. Because for example, yesterday I was taking a class and I was taking that, that you are preparing for UPSC mains, UPSC examination, continuously, going through 10 hours, 12 hours, 14 hours of study classes, because this is the requirement of the job. Once you start working in state, center, there's a huge amount of work you need to do. You are the policy makers of the tomorrow. You would be guiding the country, and that requires that you go through this entire struggle, you go through this entire churning of your mind, of your body, and whenever you want to give up, still you can't give up, you will keep fighting, and that is exactly the requirement of the examination, that is exactly the requirement of the job. So whatever your struggles are, eventually they will pay you in the coming future. So keep working with your struggles and don't give up, and that would be my recommendation. And any good teacher, educator will always talk about that. Okay, so before I move forward, the OGP 2026 batch 1 is starting on 2nd January 2025. It is an integration of GS, CSAT, SA. It is under the guidance of Vinay Kumar GB Sir, who is the founder and director of Insights IAS. You can also call on this number 80 69 40 5205. You can get all the details which are required for the this particular course. All courses, anything you want to know about Insights IAS, you want to join online, offline, every detail can be gathered by calling on this number. So let's move towards a very important news. Terror ecosystem in Jammu and Kashmir almost dismantled. So what a wonderful news are coming from the last 2 days. I think day before yesterday we were covering with Amit Shah was telling that the Naxalism in Chhattisgarh would be over by 31st March 2026, and today he's talking about that terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir is almost dismantled. So this is a wonderful news, because once the terrorism goes out of that place, then the development will happen. Now you have a government in Jammu and Kashmir, so the overall progress of Jammu and Kashmir will be increasing. And it also shows the how people participated in the Jammu and Kashmir election, also shows that the belief in the system, the belief in democracy, the belief in constitution, and this is what we need. Okay. India is the highest tariff major economy. So this is coming from the Americans. Trump has said it. Now US ambassador to India is saying it. So what are the implication of this statement? Donald Trump is still the elected president. 28th of Jan he would be taking the seat. But in that terms, this is very important to understand. India, France signs memorandum of understanding for new national museum. So France, which has the Louvre Museum, which is one of the most famous world museums. It has come in many Hollywood movies, and it's world famous. People travel, like recently I think Paris was the city which most of the tourists flocked, and Louvre Museum is one of the most important museums in the world, and now they would be collaborating with us to, so that we are also creating our museum, which would be one of the biggest, rather I think the biggest. Once we'll go to the news, we'll have more details about it, and France would be collaborating, and this shows the power of soft power. So one is hard power, one is soft power. Soft power is all about culture. Soft power is all about movies. The example can be South Korean movies, South Korean dramas, or the Korean dramas. And then your BTS band. Just imagine, from BTS band, the South Korean movies, South Korea cinema, South Korea dramas, they have taken all over the world. People are fan of them. And because of that, entire South Korean cosmetic industry is ruling the world. That is how that is the power of, soft power. That is the power of Hollywood movies, for that example. Thank you, Parikshit. Thank you very much. And even though it was a 4 hours class, but still it ended. So Parikshit is talking about the class. So since I take internal security class, one of our batch ended yesterday, and it was a 4-hour class, and we were talking about space security and a lot of other things. But finally it got ended, and that is what he's talking about. And today, you must be wondering, sir, your josh and energy is very high. It is because today we have a book launch at Insights IAS. I'm very excited about that. It will start around 11, after 11 o'clock today. It will be happening in Bangalore. So I hope all the students who are in Bangalore of Insights and others, they can come join for this book launch. It is basically about, giving the best PYQs answers, because there is a, dearth of good books which gives, correct and explained answers. So it's a launch of, around 30 years, if I'm correct. I need to see the book, but it is a very important book launch. So very excited about that. Then US prelims impact, why Plantista gangetica is in news. So Hindu did not cover it, but Indian Express has covered it, and I got this news from there. So this is that gangetic Indian dolphin, the national aquatic animal of India. We'll talk about that. Editorial, India must have survival at sea training in schools and workplaces. You remember on 14th of December, we were discussing that WHO news that every hour 30 people are drowning. Okay. So in that context, yes, I think it was 14 December only. Let me just confirm. Yes, yes, WHO. Yeah, 14 December we were. So 14 December, now this news is also not exactly related, but people have drowned and we don't have survival at sea training. And this happened in the near the Mumbai. So we'll talk about this in the editorial. And rest is your quick Q&A tidbits and extra mile. So let's move towards the first important news. Terror ecosystem in Jammu and Kashmir also dismantled. So what a wonderful news is coming, that finally we are moving towards dismantling terrorist organization. So before I start, I want to tell you about the 3 major terrorist organizations, which I take the example of Jammu and Kashmir. I have a keen interest in security. I come from forces, I come from intelligence bureau. So obviously a decent depth is there, when obviously my interest is there when I talk about this subject, or for that matter, international relations. You see that I keep talking about these 2 subjects, forming the core around me. So anyways, when it comes to internal security and when it comes to these terror groups, so Jaish-e-Mohammed, Lashkar-e-Toiba, these are Pakistan-based terror groups, and Hizbul Mujahideen is a Jammu and Kashmir terror-based groups. So Hizbul Mujahideen leader is Sayyid Salahuddin, and their focus is to do LTs, that is local terrorist. Local terrorist means that our Indian Kashmiri citizen, that young brother of 12, 14, 16 years, 18 years, he should be radicalized. He will be made radicalized by this organization Hizbul Mujahideen, and he or she will pick up arms against the Indian state. When it comes to Jaish-e-Mohammed and Lashkar-e-Toiba, so these both organizations are mostly operating from Pakistan occupied Kashmir or Pakistan. But Hizbul Mujahideen is a local born, and that is why it is even worse. For example, when I talk about Jaish-e-Mohammed and Lashkar-e-Toiba, most of their militants are Pakistani based or Pakistani mercenaries or Afghanistanis. So they are being hired, trained and sent to India through the Jammu route or the Kashmir route. But when it comes to Hizbul Mujahideen, the problem is that these are our citizens, these are our brothers and sisters who have been radicalized, and they become militants. In this context, it is very important to break the spine of Hizbul Mujahideen, because our own brothers and sisters are becoming militants. In this context, around 2017 Operation All Out was done, and majority of the spine of Hizbul Mujahideen was broken. If you remember that slain terrorist or that infamous terrorist Burhan Wani. Burhan Wani was also part of Hizbul Mujahideen. He came from this area, Pulwama only, and you remember what happened in Pulwama, that massive attack which was done on CRPF convoy. In this context, if we move ahead, specifically in this news only, so Hizbul Mujahideen, the spine of this organization, started breaking after 2017 when Operation All Out was done. Around 2019, then abrogation of Article 370 comes, and slowly and steadily the development started. In between 2020 to 2024, a lot of attacks now started focusing on Jammu because the attacks were not majorly successful in Kashmir. Now from this, this 2017, 2015, 2016 era, there was one important terrorist or one important Hizbul commander which was still alive and who was majorly responsible for radicalizing the youth of Kashmir, and this person was your Farooq Ahmed Butt, okay, and he and the other 5 terrorists has been neutralized in Kulgam, South Kashmir, and this is a massive victory of the security forces, that those militants from this 2010 to 2016 era, 1 or 2 left, which were majorly responsible for radicalizing, which used to put posts on social media and try to ask try to radicalize or try to coerce the Kashmiri youth to join militancy. Now they have been eliminated, and since this elimination is working and security forces have been given strength and power to eliminate all these terror groups, and normalcy has come to Kashmir, and the improvement is happening in Jammu and Kashmir. You can see what is happening in Lal Chowk, how improvement is happening. Obviously it cannot be compared to the other cities of country. It will take its own sweet time with the help of the administration. And just to tell you everyone, when it comes to security forces, the focus of security forces is dismantling terror work. But when it comes to administration, eventually you will need bureaucracy, you will need the steel frame system, you will need government to do it. All the security force can supplement it, but eventually it is the civil services which you will need, which will run the state, which will help the state grow in terms of economic cohesiveness, social cohesiveness, or major schemes. And the security can be provided by security forces. So that part is being done. Now the second part is also the focus. In this entire context, if you see the kind of victory which we are getting now, Amit Shah, the Home Minister, has said that Union Home Minister announced that 30 years PYQs. Thank you very much. I saw it, but I was not clear, so I thought let's not say it wrong. So 30 years PYQs. So the Union Home Minister announced that the ecosystem of terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir has almost ended, and this is a very important word which is being used by Defense Minister also Rajnath Singh, which is used by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi also, and which is also used by the Home Minister Amit Shah. Zero tolerance policy. There would be zero tolerance policy. If you pick up the weapon against the Indian state until you want to surrender, you would be eliminated. There is zero tolerance policy, that if you're trying to kill security forces, if you're trying to kill civilians, if you're trying to go against the Indian state. So terror-free JNK is the focus, because unless it's not terror-free, local people from different states cannot come, and the overall development cannot happen, because these terror groups are targeting local people, local citizens, or people coming from different states to work there. Recently they were trying to attack some people from UP and Bihar so that these workers don't come there, and they are trying to use this, that we are targeting them and we are with Kashmiris. But that's not the truth. Even Kashmiris are continuously harassed, and Kashmiris are also killed by them, including the Jammu people. So the terror-free Jammu and Kashmir at the earliest, ensuring all resources are made available to support this mission. So this is what is happening. Farooq Ahmed Butt has gone now. So review meeting on Jammu and Kashmir security. This is a regular affair which keeps happening, and to discuss that, what should be the future and how security should be strengthened, how security should be used, and with security, what are the other major administration needs of Jammu and Kashmir. So key people were who were in the meeting: Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha, Army Chief General Upendra Dwivedi, Union Home Secretary Govind Mohan, Jammu and Kashmir Director General of Police Nalin Prabhat. So all top officials of the country were available there discussing the security of Jammu and Kashmir. Okay, significant decline in the terrorism related issues. So terrorism incidents, infiltration, youth recruitment, this is very important. Yesterday also I was discussing this in one of the classes. See, security forces going down and eliminating terrorist group, very good. But even more important is that the youth which is joining these terror groups, if the radicalization stops, or for that matter the youth who has been radicalized, or the Kashmiri youth or Jammu and Kashmir from wherever they are joining, they say that we are not interested in your terrorism, we want our jobs, we want to work, we want to have a living, and we want to grow with India. Very clear. If we are able to do this, the terrorism will automatically come down, because if people will not join terrorism, these all groups, Hizbul Mujahideen, they will, they will eventually break down. So then you will only be left with Jaish-e-Mohammed and Lashkar-e-Toiba, who are sending Pakistani or Afghanistani or Taliban militants to India, if they are sending. Okay, Taliban, if they are joining, earlier they were also available, the Afghanistanis, but majorly for their Fidain attacks, but majorly Pakistanis are coming. So then that would be the only people who would be coming, and Indian Army can very well take care of it, and other security forces, CRPF and other, who are chipping in with very good strategic operations. So in this context, it is very important. Radicalization need to be stopped. If you don't stop radicalization, number of militants you kill 50 more would be coming. So it is important to kill this ideology of radicalization. Automatically the terrorism will come down. Okay. So in this context, call for coordination. Shah directed security agencies to continue working in coordinated manner. If there is a coordination, obviously operations will be better. If coordination means the various agencies, Intelligence Bureau, RAW, or the Jammu and Kashmir Police, Indian Army, CRPF, BSF, all these coming together doing an operation. Whenever agencies come and do operation, it is a highly and hugely successful. For example, even in Operation All Out and previous operations which have been done, whenever we get very good intelligence, and good intelligence is generally coming from Jammu and Kashmir Police and IB. So when these two organizations gives good intelligence, the amount of or the successful rate of operation increases like anything. So then that is why coordination is very important. I would like to know your thoughts about it on Chhattisgarh, Naxalism coming down, and Jammu and Kashmir, the terrorism coming down. What are your thoughts on it? Do you think India, from the point of view security apparatus, has moved? We have not seen any major terror attacks in our countries except the Uri and Pulwama. Otherwise, there used to be, if you go from 2000 to 2010, 12, all that time, there used to be many terror attacks. The security of the country, security apparatus architecture was very weak. Do you feel that the country has changed? Specifically, I'm talking about security, nothing else. Do you see that point of view of security we have become better? Please tell me in comment section, what do you feel about it? Okay. So obviously Amit Shah talked about people's participation in democracy. Omar Abdullah spoke about restoration of statehood and other governance related issues. I think this will also happen in coming days. Please share your views. I'll be waiting for your comments. Okay. So next important news is India and France signs memorandum of understanding for new national museum. So new national museum would be coming, that is Yuga Yugin Bharat. Yuga Yugin Bharat. That is the name of this museum. So Yuga Yugin Bharat, and India and France signs of MOU. And France would be helping. France and most of these countries in Europe, they are very good in this museum. You can see the British Museum. So it is a British museum. It says you can come and see, but basically that is when British was the colonialist or imperialist. Whatever they have collected by stealing from other countries is available in British Museum. And then they are asking ticket price to pay something which belong to your country only. That is exactly what is British Museum. You will pay to British Museum, or if there is I am sure there must be a ticket. So you are going to British Museum, obviously you will take pride to go to Britain, and then you will see which was stolen from your country and paying for it. That is what is British Museum. And that is the hypocrisy of British Museum also. But anyways, when we are talking about France, Louvre Museum is world famous. It is, I think in a lot of movies, in the lot of Hollywood movies, we have also seen it. And I think it was in the first Hollywood movie also, like not the first part of it, Da Vinci Code, I think it was there. In that movie also, I don't remember exactly the name, but maybe it was. So the museum will be located at historic North Block and South Block in New Delhi. So once it is completed, I will want that all you guys come and visit it. And it will be modeled on world-renowned institutions like Louvre in Paris. So what happens is maintaining a museum, and museums, why this is important. These becomes tourist destination. These become very important, and this is your Louvre museum. So I'm sure you must have seen it and see how wonderful it is. So Louvre is a national art museum in Paris, France, and one of the most famous museums in the world. It's like the heartbeat of Paris. One of the heartbeats. Obviously, Paris has a lot of other things. Okay, so in these terms, Louvre is a national art museum, Paris, France, one of the most important famous museums in the world. And since Paris has these multiple location, people flock. And if you see India, India has, India has deserts, India has snow-capped mountains, we have cold deserts, we have mountains, and we have, tropical forest, we have northeast, then we have south, we have oceans, we have seas, we have beaches. So if you see, India as a tourist destination can go places. Only thing is that we have not been able to use it. If we start using it, what people go in Europe for, they probably would be getting 10-20% of it. In India, you can get everything. Only thing is that states needs to focus and make it better. The problem is that we have resources, but they have not been properly used. Once we start using our own resources, we can become the topmost destination of tourism, and I don't have any doubt about it. If the central government, with the help of the state governments, with a political will, start doing it, we can become the #1 tourist destination of the world. There is no doubt about it. If you go back in an ancient past, we were one of the topmost educational centers of the world. From Vikramshila to Nalanda, everyone used to come to us. And I hope that era will come back, maybe first in tourism and then in education, when we would be top again. We are working towards that goal. So this is the Louvre Museum, and we'll be learning from it how the the France would be helping, and see how wonderfully these museums have become. So these are different photographs of the Louvre Museum and how it has been maintained over years and decades. So this museum, we are trying to create, we are trying to have a soft power so that people come see our culture, and multiple meetings which will happen, or the diplomatic meetings happens, or a G20 or these kind of things India will have, or any sports event. I'm very sure people would be, or the dignitaries or important people which will come from the world would be taken to this museum once it is completed, because this will become one of the most important icons of India. So when completed, it would be the largest museum in the world. So I was telling you about this. So it will become the largest museum in the world, and just imagine, it will have everything. It aims to preserve and showcase India's cultural and historical legacy through modern adaptive reuse of heritage building. So heritage building, the old buildings would be revamped because they have a cultural significance. So this is the same in Louvre, that they have used the old buildings because people would want to go to that buildings. There is an attachment to the building. There is an emotional attachment to the buildings. People from different eras have seen that. So that would be done, and France is very good in conservation of these heritage buildings with the modern technology. That is what we would be learning from France and implementing in this. So agreement was signed by Herve Barbaret of France, and from Indian side, B.R. Mani, Director General of National Museum of India. External Affairs Minister gave a very important, so he was there. So Jaishankar sir had said, it's the remaking of Bharat, and Bharat coming again. So soft power expression, I've already told you what is soft power. So it is the essence of soft power and important cultural partnership between India and France. See, it is not that India and France are doing this today. There is a multiple things which has happened from the times of buying of Mirage to Rafale to multiple cultural exchanges. The relationship between India and France was always good. Over the period of time, it has strengthened, and that is the result, and that is the final result. You are seeing all this. So obviously today you are seeing this. Obviously the homework for this, when the Prime Minister Modi is meeting Emmanuel Macron, meeting him at G20 or at different places, that this entire homework was done, and now this is the final result you are seeing. This is a huge effort of administration and diplomacy which goes behind, and then you get this result. It is not that France woke up one day and this happened. Obviously a lot of paperwork has gone, and this is the final news which we are getting. So this also shows the strategic partnership between India and France, and moving towards the multipolar world. I keep telling we would be moving towards multipolar world, and two rising countries, I again and again say, two major rising countries of the world are China and India. And I don't know what will happen, but in future, today China definitely needs India, and India also needs China from the point of view of investment, and China from the trade. And rise of Donald Trump will probably make them closer for some time. But these two rising countries tomorrow or in coming 10 or 15 years will definitely clash over trade or over something. Let's see, that does not happen, but chances are very, very high. Okay. So expertise of France is already there. They have museum like Louvre, Grand Palais and Hotel de Marine, and all this experience would be used in implementing implementing an adaptive reuse of heritage buildings of France for our museum. So this is a UPSC mains question. You can go through it. Let's go to the next news. Before that, integrated GS CSAT program starts on 6th January 2025. It will be covering all these details. It's an offline batch, an online batch also. Offline would be happening in Bangalore. For all details, you can also call on the number which was provided earlier. And you can also scan this QR code for all details, or you can go to the Insights IAS website for all details also. Okay. Let's go to the next important news. So, sir, I can't believe. Okay, sir, India's security forces have worked hard to reduce Naxalism in Chhattisgarh and terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir with smart strategies. Definitely, Operation Samadhan and multiple things have been done. Okay, so Soumya, Amruta, India is the 4th largest country in terms of defense spending. Yes, and you know, one of the largest importers of weapons. It is very important, Soumya, that rather than just importing, we start building our weapons, because it is important. A superpower is a country which makes its own weapons. Currently, we are taking a lot of technology from outside. Yes, we are working on indigenous technology, but until unless that becomes 100% Indian, we start making our own technology. We invest on research and development. It will be difficult. To become a superpower, you can become a powerful country, but superpower countries are not, taking things from others, because that country can deny you in future. So in terms of technology R&D, we also need to work on. So that, see, again, this news, the importance of becoming a powerful country. India is the highest tariff major economy, and since America has said it, we have to cover this news, because Donald Trump recently said that if India continues to put tariff, and India is one of the highest tariff countries in the world, if India continues to put tariff on the American products, we will reciprocate in the same manner, putting tariffs on India. Obviously, India and America have very good relationship. Narendra Modi and Donald Trump are very close. He was one of the first persons to call, and Donald Trump received the call congratulating for winning the presidential elections. But at the end of the day, both are very important, apart from being the top leaders of their country and thinking about their country's interest. Both are from, from Narendra Modi coming from Gujarat. Gujarat is famous for the business background. And Donald Trump has said many times that it is very difficult to negotiate with Narendra Modi. It's very difficult to negotiate. And Donald Trump is a very good negotiator. So in that context, this would be a very great meeting when it happens, that what eventually comes out. But I don't think so that it will eventually go into tariff wars with America. What seems to be in the context of China. So the US ambassador to India, Eric Garcetti, has said that India is the highest tariff major economy globally. He emphasized the need for both countries to work towards lowering tariff to make trade fair and equal. I think Nirmala Sitharaman has also given a statement that on some of the goods we can work about it. Over a period of time, both sides will sit and try to come with with a solution over it. As per my opinion, they will not be fighting over it. Like in the context of China, Trump before the election said that I would be putting tariff which can go up till 66% on China. So he has said that in election. In India's context, it is not like that. And the momentum and for that matter, what people of America thinks, they are not anti-India. But the theme around in America for China is anti-China. Now, Indians are obviously the top CEOs, and Indian Americans are contributing like anything in the American economy. And Indian Americans, some of the Indian Americans are part, from Vivek Ramaswamy to others. They are part of Kash Patel. They are part of the Trump system also, or which eventually will start in January 2025. So I believe that things will get sorted out, and this is just a problem which needs to be resolved. Okay. So context of comment, Garcetti's statements follows US President-elect Donald Trump remarks about India's imposing high tariff at the potential reciprocal tariffs from America which can come. Okay. So in this context, this is very important. Okay, so despite tariff challenges, bilateral trade between the two nations has increased tenfold. So, you know, because all these challenges, America is now the biggest trade partner of India. That's a very important news. So I don't think so Donald Trump will let go of that, because India is a very important country. It's not only from the point of view of trade, from geopolitical point of view, from strategic point of view, from Indo-Pacific point of view, from South China Sea point of view, from the quadrilateral security dialogue point of view, from going against China point of view, or having an important ally to counter China. Because if you see America, Australia, Japan, these three partners, they don't share border with China. India is sharing border with China. So most important country in Quad in comparison to these three which can counter China is India, because we are the next door neighbors. We share a huge amount of border with China, more than 3,000 kilometers. So that way, in this all context, we are very important. We are the fastest growing major economy in the world. So America knows this. And that is why, they'll think about it. The trade between America and India has crossed $120 billion. It's the largest. Second number, it is China with $118 billion. Okay, so this obviously would be thought about. So US has become India's #1 trading partner, demonstrating strong economic ties. So again, see, when Garcetti is giving this statement, Eric Garcetti, he is not criticizing India. He's saying, like, we need to work, guys. We need to find solution to this. The Donald Trump, the elected president, is coming. We find solution to it so that both of us can work. The trade is already $120 billion. We need to take it more. So in this context, all this is coming. Okay. So call for negotiation. Garcetti stressed the importance of having honest conversations, and he told, see, we need to have honest conversation, we need to have frank conversation. India comes out, say Nirmala Sitharaman and all ministers are there and PM is there, that these are the problems we have, and then the Trump and his administration, these are the problems we have. They both sit together, and obviously when you're talking about diplomacy and when you're talking about solution, so for example, they have 10 demands, we have 10 demands. Obviously, when you're talking about solution, not 10 to 10 demands can be taken care of. So 5 demands of them, 5 demands of us, that is how you get to solution. That is how a negotiation happens. Okay. Okay, so having honest conversation to negotiate deeper trade. So this we have covered. $120 billion. Lowering tariffs would be a focus. Talent and training. Collaborative efforts to enhance training and skills development were highlighted. And obviously training and skills, when it comes to Americans, can definitely help Indians from the point of technology, R&D and other sectors. They are ahead of us, and there is no doubt by accepting that if a country is ahead of you with, when it comes to management skills in the terms of their education or research and development skills, technology, we can always learn from them. And blunt and frank communication would be the thought process so that things come out. So these were the statements of the President-elect Donald Trump. India is a tariff king, tremendous high tariff. Reciprocity can happen. Reciprocal tariffs US may impose. Again, the word is may. I think India and America should be able to find solution to this. So this is your UPSC mains question. You can go through this. Now let's move towards the editorial. So editorial is for survival skills. India must have survival at sea training in schools and workplaces. This is basically talking about the Mumbai boat tragedy. So this is the tragedy which happened. So there was a collision which involved a naval speedboat and Nilkamal. Nilkamal was an old-fashioned V-shaped boat, wooden boat prone to capsizing but not sinking. So around 100 passengers were saved. But the problem was that many people lost lives who were not able to, cling to the boat, or who did not get these life-saving jackets. So these people lost their lives. So in this context, it is very important that we start giving these life-saving skills to people. Now in Scandinavian countries, this is being done. If you remember, we had done this, this important news. WHO report, drowning prevention and the global burden of drowning. This was the first time that WHO report had come. This news we had covered on 14th December. And it said, 14th December, it said 30 people drowned per hour in 2021. report reveals that 3 lakh people, these people have died there, and they were doing the data analysis of 2021. In this context, it is very important that people in it, this report shows that more people who are dying because of drowning, around 24%, those are children, because they don't have skill sets. In this context, and if we take this Mumbai boat tragedy, it becomes very important. Apart from having these life-saving jackets, it is also very important that people know these skill sets. They know swimming, they know how to save their lives if the drowning happens or the boat capsizes. So again, again reinforcing, if you have not completed this news, please go through 14 December and complete it. Okay. So India must prioritize survival at sea training in schools and workplaces. Mumbai boat tragedy, a wake-up call for marine safety, congested marine environment. So why it is happening? Because too many ships are flocking towards this Mumbai coast, and because of this, for example, if this is the coast and there were only 2 ships, but if there are multiple ships and there is a testing of these naval speed vessels is happening, obviously they will collide. If there is a, say, if there is, take a coast, it's of 100, say 10 kilometers coast we take, and there are only 2 ships, but now instead of 2 ships you will have 200 ships. The chances of collision will increase if unless you have right guidelines and parameters. This is exactly happening. So Mumbai's gateway of India serves as a hub for merchant ships, naval vessels, tourist boats, fishing boats, everything is there, creating a hazardous and congested marine environment. Now, testing new crafts like naval speedboats often requires operation in shallow waters. They need to be tested, and these other boats are also there. You have your fishing boats, merchant vessels, and that is why these collision occurs, because these boats needs to be tested in shallow waters, and other ships are also there, and that is why this collision happens, and these naval vessels are tested at a decent speed. Okay. So testing new crafts like naval speedboats often require operation in shallow and congested water, increasing risk during sea trials. And this was the tragedy, and what happened? Around 100 people were saved, but many lost their lives. This was the WHO report. Please complete your 14 December analysis, and if you have not completed, at least complete this important report. This is the first time WHO came with this report. Okay. So safety gaps and area of improvement, life jacket guidelines, life jacket needs to be there on these boats, and number of people on these, these tourist boats, there should be a guideline, because if the guideline is saying 20 people, all these people put 40, 50 people for their own personal profit. So need for accessible and affordable life jacket is needed, quickly donned even by panicked individual, because in panic people are not able to use their mind properly. So if this life jacket is there, they can be saved. Past incidents like 2000 Thikadi boat disaster which happened in Kerala, that was an eye opener, and at that time we were talking about that implementation needs to be done, but broader implementation remains lacking. Overcrowding and inspection needs to be done. Investigations are needed to ensure boats comply with passenger capacity. Most of the time, all these tourist boats, if the passenger capacity is 20, they will have 100 people there or 60 people there. That's the problem, because focus is on profit rather than the rather than the life security or life security of these people. So adequate supply of life jackets should be there. So if the adequate, for example, if there are 50 passengers, at least 10 extra life jackets should be there. Okay, but we don't even have 50. That is the problem. So sea is a unique challenge in hospitable domain. So unlike road and rail transport, sea poses unique risks such as drowning, and then the hypothermia, the temperature of your body and the temperature of that sea or the river, which can affect you. So in this context, it is very important that our people are trained. So dependence on safety measures like life jackets and trained rescue operation is essential for survival. And specifically, Mumbai is a very famous place. Okay, there at least there was someone, but many other places, there's hardly any life-saving boats or people. Now, Scandinavian example we can take. So countries with a maritime lifestyle teach survival at sea skills to population as a part of routine training. Incorporate survival at sea training. Introduce training in schools and workplaces. This was the same thing which was told in that WHO report also. This is reiterating that. So this editorial is also saying the same thing, that workplace, schools, we need to teach survival at sea training, including life jacket usage. For how many of you know how to put a life jacket? If somebody doesn't tell you, he just gives you a life jacket and your boat is sinking. Until unless you know, you will not be able to use that life jacket. So having a life jacket and using it are two different things. So skill set, you need to have skill set to do it. Okay. So usage and survival technique for water emergencies. Raise awareness. Conduct public awareness campaigns about these unique dangers of water. Like we talk about drugs, we talk about AIDS, we talk about multiple issues in the country. Similarly, we need to launch a campaign so that people are aware about it. Specifically, at least people who are going to, who are in these coastal areas or going towards these areas, they should be at least made aware if we at least cannot launch a all India level campaign. So enforce marine safety standards in terms of boat inspection, passenger limits, safety requirement, first and life saving skills we have has to be there. And this is a UPSC mains question, you can go through it. And let's come to prelims impact. So prelim impact is talking about today Ganges dolphin, India's Ganges dolphin, that is Platysta gangetica. It is India's national aquatic animal, and now we are doing satellite tagging. So first time satellite tagging of this dolphin is happening, this national aquatic animal is happening. We are starting this from Assam. Why are we doing it? So that we know, we study the seasonal and migratory patterns, that what is the migratory pattern of this dolphin, where it moves, what is the seasonal pattern of this dolphin, which we need to understand. To understand what is the range of this animal, or for that matter this dolphin, distribution, what is the distribution, habitat utilization, how does it uses habitat, when it travels to different habitat, what is the habitat utilization of that particular place, and especially in fragmented river system, this would give us a lot of data in studying this national aquatic animal. So this would be part of Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. It is supported by National Campa, Wildlife Institute of India, and collaboration with Assam Forest Department. So this first ever satellite tagging has been done in Assam with the help of all these department and ministry. Now Ganges dolphin belongs to Planistiidae family. The UPSC MCQ question had already come onto this, which also includes Indus River dolphin, but in later both were segregated, both were considered the same species until 1970s. The Indian gangetic dolphin is also known as Susu, Soons or Sushuk in local languages. These dolphins are deeply tied to Indian culture, often depicted as Vahan of goddess Ganga. So they are also seen as the transport vehicle of goddess Ganga. What are the threats to Ganges River dolphin? Obviously habitat fragmentation, pollution, poaching and fishing nets. And in the conservation efforts, Project Dolphin was started in 2021, launched to conserve riverine species and improve aquatic ecosystems. So this was the prelims impact. Let's go through a question. It is India's national aquatic animal, belongs to Planistiidae family, which also includes Indus River dolphin. The species face threats from habitat fragmentation due to human activities and industrial pollution. These dolphins are known as, okay, so I think all of them are correct. Okay, the Ganges River dolphin is India's national, it belongs to Planistiidae, which also includes the Indus River dolphin. But it was, I hope that you've gone through this statement also. But both were considered same species, but later they in 1970s they had gone different. Okay, so this was the names. And in the extra mile today you have political crisis which is happening in South Korea. If you remember, the President Yoon Suk Yeol, he had put that martial law and that emergency, basically martial law, and by the evening the martial law, in morning, afternoon he puts, by evening it was over, and there is an entire crisis which is happening in South Korea in terms of political crisis. You can follow ICANN 2.0 current affairs Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9:30 AM it comes. So thank you very much. I hope you did learn a lot. Sir, government should collaborate with Coast Guard and Navy on frequent maintenance, better training, slower speed, proper signals and strict safety measures can help prevent future boat accidents. Absolutely correct, Parikshit. Also focus on creating alternative sea trials. Okay, very good. So a lot of you are in the session. For example, I would want that, you all have at least one friend of yours, right? One important friend. So if you can ask them also to join the live session, number of people can increase. So for example, if I see there are 20 people and I'm sure that you are coming regularly, I see that you come on daily basis. So at least you can get one more friend to join it, then we'll have 40 people and slowly or steadily our family will increase. We are a family, right? You and me are family. We come, we discuss, I take your questions, and if you are from from Bangalore only, you can always come and meet me. I sit in Insights office. I can guide you through your UPSC and other examination. If you want to join Defense Forces, I can help you with that also. So I would just want that at least get one person. Everyone gets one person. Ask your friend to join it. It will become around 19 or 20 to 40, and this way we can grow. So thank you very much for joining the session, and it was lovely again meeting with you. Tomorrow we'll cover more interesting news and with the full amount of Josh and everything. Thank you very much. Jai Hind. Take care. Please like the session, share the session, and most importantly, press the bell icon. Take care and Jai Hind.